Hello, welcome to the Motorsport Review. I'm your host, Perry Brown, and I'm delighted to say joining me for the first time, but hopefully not the last time, is a good friend of mine. Sorry for saying that if you don't count yourself as a good friend of mine, but I've introduced you as that now, so you are. So please welcome AndyTails. How are you doing, Andy?
Hello, everyone. Yeah, no, I'm doing good. I'm quite happy to be here on my good friend's podcast. So.
Excellent. Right, we got the first hurdle over and done with. Yes, we were both at the Formula E in London. It was the second time that we'd been there at the same time. Did you go beforehand, or was this your second time as well?
Was it third or fourth? I've lost count now. Is it? I've been at least 3 years. I want to say 4, but I'm not sure now.
I believe it's been there 4 years. So.
Well, the first time it was during COVID, so that was 2020, and they weren't allowed to have any fans. So every time it's been there that fans have been allowed, I've been there anyway. So
excellent. If you hadn't guessed, we're going to cover Formula E and season 11, but obviously, as we're both there in London, we'll cover a little bit about that. But a disclaimer to begin with: we're two Formula E fans. Neither of us are distinctly in the know. So if you're here sort of expecting it to be like an in-depth review, as I always say before this thing, then maybe this is for elsewhere. But this is just, you know, if you're a Formula One fan that hasn't yet discovered Formula E and you're thinking, should I? Then we're going to tell you, yes, you definitely should, and all the reasons why. So we've covered a little bit already. The first question I had for you, Andy, was how long have you been watching Formula E?
I watched the very first race back in, was it 2014? Quite enjoyed it. It was a slightly farcical, slightly funny, slightly good racing. It was okay. I didn't actually miss like 2 or 3 of the next races just because at the start the advertising and everything around it was so poor. I just didn't know when they were wrong and kind of forgot about it, and then picked it up again. I don't know, race 5 or so. But yeah, pretty much I've been watching it ever since. Probably missed a couple of races here and there, but yeah, the vast majority of it I have watched.
Yeah, same. When it went behind a paywall, I admittedly missed quite a few of the races, watched highlights, but then you forget to just log in and watch your 10 minutes of racing. If you can't watch it live, you tend to put it to the back of the mind when there's so much other stuff out there. But yeah, I've been watching from the start and went to Battersea when they were there, I think in season 2. And yeah, the show has improved, the event has improved, and the show has improved massively. And I think that was where I was going to start off by saying we've just finished season 11, and I think, as you say, watching in season 1, I never expected that it'd still be going 11 seasons, and it's going so strongly as well. And obviously we'll preview a little bit about season 12 and the small changes that might be coming up, and I'm even going to ask you some predictions, perhaps. Very dodgy. If my predictions in Formula E are just absolutely rubbish. Again, thinking of London, and you're sat there with the duels in qualifying, and I was like, oh, I think such and such is going to come out ahead of this, and I got every single one of them wrong. So we'll see how the predictions for season 12 end up.
Formula E is very unpredictable. I did actually win a couple of competitions run by one of Mercedes EQ team sponsor. I'm actually wearing a t-shirt I won by Vestas, and they in that you had to predict where the Mercedes EQ drivers would finish. Now, thankfully, in that prediction game, you could wait until after quali before predicting, and so what I did, I waited until quali, and if the Mercedes drivers qualified in the top 2, 3, 4, I predicted they'd win the race. Otherwise, I predicted DNF because that was far more likely than anything else. Because, you know, if they're starting 10th, they could finish anywhere from about 3rd to 20th, including DNF. And with 3 cars DNFing each race, it became definitely the way to go. And yeah, won me the competition that year, and won me hospitality at the London E-Prix with Mercedes one year. So.
Oh, nice! Oh, excellent.
But yeah, my predictions are awful. So.
Better than mine. You know, I wouldn't get anywhere close. But yeah, as we touched on there, races can be a bit wild. You know, if you've qualified, I'd say anywhere outside the top 8, then you're at the mercy of everyone else. With the street tracks that they run on, typically they're very narrow, so it only takes one person to have a little bit of a scuffle before everyone's had a lot of a scuffle. often closing the track and end up seeing safety cars. So it's one of the things, if you're into Formula One and you're sat there thinking, I love Baku or Monaco when it gets a bit crazy like that, then Formula E is your series and you need to get into it. If you're sat there going, oh, do you know what, I don't like when it's a bit random, a bit unpredictable, a bit wild, then maybe it's not so much. But hopefully there's a little bit for everyone, and it often gets likened to Mario Kart, possibly unfairly. But I just love that you the unpredictability. You can watch one race and such is on top. The next race, they're at the back and struggling for points, and that can be day to day. So they're running on the same tracks a lot of the time, a lot of double headers. Saturday they're in pole, they win the race, they dominate, they turn up Sunday and nothing at all. Do you enjoy that sort of wild aspect, or do you like a bit of repetitive nature to your racing?
I like a little bit of chaos, but it is nice when you have some sort of idea of, you know, the pecking order. But yeah, it's one of the good things about Formula E is that even the underdogs can win races sometimes. So, I mean, I assume we're not going into this season race by race, so it's probably not, hopefully not too much of a spoiler to say that Kiro, who have been, you know, at the back of the grid for I don't know how many years, actually won a race this year, and that's just a little bit, you know, the unpredictability and what's the word? Wide openness.
Spontaneity.
Yeah, well, the fact that nearly anyone can actually win most races, and you will see some people tend to win more, and you know there are better cars and not so good powertrains, because the car itself is the same, but obviously the powertrain can be different from team to team. Some of them are better than others, and some of them are not so good. But with a little bit of luck and some funny strategy, then yeah, quite often you can see unexpected winners, and I quite enjoy that.
Yeah, it was. I've got that in my notes actually to say that about Oliver Rowland, because he was obviously champion. He did so quite dominantly because, again, we're quite used to seeing this championship go all the way to the end. Well, he won it in Berlin 2 rounds before the end of the actual championship. So that in Formula E terms is dominant. I mean, we're not Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen winning it 6 races before the end of the season, but Formula E standards, he got a hell of a start to the season. He had 4 wins early doors and then just sort of held on, just consistently picked up points. Because as we're getting to, that Formula E is not about winning every race, but if you're not winning, you've got to be 4th, 5th, 6th, just gathering points, because it's more than likely your rivals might win today, but they'll DNF tomorrow. So its consistency is really rewarded here.
Yeah, and that's been the same across pretty much every Formula E season. Consistency has been the key to it. I mean, I've got behind me medals celebrating Mercedes EQ, the years that they won the championships. And I don't know if you know, they do the same in Formula One. When they win races at the end of the season, every employee from the team gets given a little medallion, and a different medallion per race they won. And some of them then sell them, and I've managed to buy them. And so I've got a set of Mercedes Formula One from 2017, and there's, just check behind me, 12 different race wins that Mercedes got and then took both championships. And then from the Formula E ones, they've got 1 or 2 wins, actual race wins in the year they won the championship. And it's very, very different. I mean, maybe across the team they got 3 or 4, but the winning driver only got 1 or 2 wins. And it was very much about consistency, getting lots of podiums, just because it was difficult to win every single race. With the qualifying back then made it even harder, because the good drivers couldn't often qualify near the front, when that's changed a bit now. But yeah, it's very much consistency is very important for Formula E.
Yeah, it was even wilder back then, wasn't it? Because it was something like you were grouped into 4 groups based on championship order, and the top of the championship went out first when the track was very dusty and ended up at the back of the grid, funny enough. And then it was basically like, well, if you drop low enough down the table, you'll get a good result, and then you'll jump up the table, and then you'll start getting bad results. So it was good that they changed it. The qualifying now is, I want to say it's even better than Formula One. I do love the head-to-head duels. What do you think of the head-to-head duels? You're sort of shaking your head, not too sure about that.
I do really enjoy it. It's a great spectacle. I feel watching it live is a little bit either in person or watching it live on TV. It's a little bit of a drag at times because, particularly with tire temperatures, they have no tire warmers in Formula E, and so if someone's just gone out and done let's say their quarterfinal race, and then they're racing against the person who did the first quarterfinal. The person who did the first quarterfinal did their race quite a long time ago. Their tires are cooled down. The person who's just done their quarterfinal's got very hot tires. So in order to give it a fair go in the semi-final, they then have like 10 minutes or so of cooling down in the pit lane. So they both got cool tires, and that 10 to 15-minute delay between each set gets a little bit boring.
Yeah.
But the actual spectacle itself and the head-to-head format, I absolutely love. It's really, really good fun.
Yeah, you feel with that you just swapped up, like you just allowed them to change tires or something, wouldn't you, just to get them back out? Because I actually thought it was to do with refueling, but refueling. Oh my god, that's like a swear word in Formula E. Recharging. Oh my god, if you refueled a Formula E car. Well, anyway, but that brings me nicely, at least, onto Pit Boost and its introduction this year. So we covered Formula E. One of the very first episodes on here was talking about the Mexico E-Prix with Amy, and I said, "Oh, have you heard Pit Boost is coming in this year?" And neither of us knew how it was going to work, what it was going to entail. We were both wrong. I was like certain it's going to be this, and it wasn't. But we only saw it when we had double headers. We saw it on the Saturday. So when we were in London, for instance, we saw Pit Boost, and I loved it to the point it was a shame when we didn't have Pit Boost on the Sunday or in the single header races, where it was just sort of missing. So I'd like to see them do more with it. I think I'd like to see it for every race. I think because it's such a great technology. It's something that's transferable to the real world as well, because that's ultimately what Formula E is about. Yes, entertaining racing, but actually ultimately bringing something sustainable and fundamental to the real world. Was that your same view? Did you enjoy Pit Boost as much this year?
I very much enjoyed Pit Boost. Yeah, I think it was a good addition. I actually quite like the fact, especially on double headers, that it'd have one race with it and one without, because that meant that it was a good way to make the two races at the same track a day later. Good way to make them different to each other. I think I was quite surprised at how slow the charging is. I mean, it's supposedly a super fast charging, and way faster than any road car super fast charging. But they charge 10% of the battery, but it takes them 2 minutes or something.
It's 30 seconds. I mean, it feels like 2 minutes, but it's 30 seconds. But I know what you mean when they're sat there, and especially because if you think about a Formula One pit stop, which is 2-3 seconds, and they're at work for those
the whole
2
time.
or 3 seconds. Well, the car pulls up in Formula E, they plug it in, and the guy just sort of stands back and stands there doing this and looking a bit uninterested. And then, as you say, about 28 seconds later, he's there, right, okay, ready. And then he takes it out and the car goes. But in terms of those numbers, if you think, again, like your car charging, if you've got an electric car, you're thinking, oh God, yeah, I have to go into the service station, leave it on charge for 20 minutes and hope I've got the 20% or 30% I need to get home. I know Tesla's have got their superchargers and things, and they're a lot quicker, but 10% is a significant amount in just 30 seconds. But yeah, when you're watching it can be a bit like, oh God, come on. But it does chop up the race quite nicely, I think, compared to taking attack mode. But then they still had to take attack mode. I thought it was like a direct replacement, because I see attack mode like DRS in Formula One. It's a nice to have. It's a bit of a novelty.
At one point, it was supposed to be that if you had to do your pit boost before you were allowed attack mode. That was the original plan.
Yeah.
My understanding was that driving into the pits to do the pit boost counted as arming your attack mode, and then you could use it at any point afterwards. But they changed it so that you just take attack mode whenever. But actually, I thought it definitely made strategy interesting. We had a couple of races where people went and took very, very early pit boosts, and then they were advantaged afterwards. So I think it was Tokyo Van Dorn. Tokyo Van Dorn was a really interesting strategy. When race started under the safety car, and you have to get down to, I think, a 60% battery before you're allowed to do your pit boost. So Van Dorn, under the safety car, was weaving from side to side, accelerating, braking, to use up as much battery power as possible so that he could pit and do his pit boost earlier than anyone else. He did his pit boost, and then almost straight after there was a red flag. And so he was able to catch up to the back of the pack of everyone because he was the only person who'd done pit boost. And then when the race restarted and later on everyone else had to do their pit stop for pit boost, and he just filtered through to the front and won the race. So it was, I wouldn't want to see it happen every race, but someone doing a contra strategy and it paying off once in a while is good fun. I had something similar again in Monaco with Nico Muller having damaged his car in an accident, and so he decided, well, let's just do the pit boost now and just hope there's a yellow flag or a safety car to catch up. And there was, and he caught up under the safety car, although something had actually gone wrong with his pit boost. So he'd stopped for the required time, so the FIA graphic was showing that he'd got his 10% extra battery, but it hadn't actually plugged in properly, and so he didn't actually have the charge in his battery. And so even though he should have won the race from his lucky tactic, he then had to do massive energy saving towards the last few laps and got past. I think he finished 4th or 6th or something, but still a good result.
Still an improvement when you think has damaged his car. And again, to think how far Formula E's come from where pit boost used to be, where they park up the first car and jump out and get in the second one. We're long gone from those days, thank God, because it was a bad look. But yeah, it's really, as so Van Dorn weaving, when Formula E races are typically like, I can save more energy than you. No, I can save more energy than you. And then suddenly there's this point where everyone goes, okay, I've done enough of that, and then just flies. And as I say, we saw it in London as well. The two McLaren, with both McLaren. I was going to say McLaren fan, but you've got a few other hats you wear at Mercedes. So,
I mean, I'm a McLaren fan from Formula One, so I'm a very big fan of them in Formula E. But obviously, I'm following Formula E from far before they joined, and we've got Jaguar, McLaren, Andretti, and Mahindra, and Mercedes, another team that's gone. But hey ho.
So they got into a bit of strife, and I think it was Sam. I think they both pitted early, but Sam especially pitted early and benefited from it. He pushed basically very early on. Was very unlucky, very unfortunate on the last lap. Instead, that he should have converted like what was looking like 18th into 8th. And then ended up in a wall instead with an ambitious attack. As I say, that seems to happen quite a lot in Formula E, that they end up in a wall. But yes, we sort of touched on Oliver Rowland's dominance, 10th different champion in 11 series, again, going into how often we get a change of champions. The fact we've only ever had one 2-time champion, perhaps that will change next year. But the person I wanted to get to next was Nick Cassidy. In that he won 4 races in total. He won the last 3 of the season. He put in a really good stint, finished 2nd. And I was ready to say, as my prediction, here's someone to watch for next year. And then he's gone and announced he's leaving Jaguar. Presumably for someone else. I haven't seen any rumours, so I'll pass over to you. Have you heard where he might be going?
I saw a rumour half a season ago that he had signed with Stellantis.
Okay.
Stellantis, for those who don't know, big car manufacturing thing. They own various different brands. So they own Maserati in Formula E, and they also own DS, which is currently part of DS Penske. So the rumours are they've signed Cassidy, they've signed Taylor Barnard, they've got Verne, they've got I don't know how many other drivers. But apparently they don't have any control over the seat, who the drivers are at DS Penske. Penske has control of that.
Okay.
So all the drivers they've signed are apparently going to be driving for Maserati, which is 4 different drivers in 2 seats. So I don't know what will happen, but rumours are Cassidy signed for Stellantis. Although
if it was me, I could put in Cassidy in a race seat. As I say, I think he's highly rated. And you mentioned another name there as Barnard. I think was probably the standout, certainly the rookies this year. Came in, was pushing Rowland early doors in the championship. Didn't quite get any wins, but always seemed to be like 2nd, 3rd, again, that consistency. But then that tailed off towards the end of the season.
Yeah,
Um,
I think Nissan have massively dropped the ball by not signing him. So with Rowland's teammate Nato didn't really bring very many points home. I think he had
mm,
2 minor points finishes the whole season, and that cost Nissan in the constructors' championship. And I do feel that Taylor Barnard, because driving for McLaren using the same Nissan powertrain, Nissan supply the car to McLaren, and Barnard was clearly the second best Nissan driver. So why they didn't sign him to partner Rowland next year, I really don't know.
yeah, I thought the same thing because everyone was looking, going Nissan versus McLaren, as you say. The Nissan powertrain has clearly got a trick here, and yeah, whether Nato can step up next year and prove that he should be there, or as you say, I agree. I think that was a bit of a mistake there, because a form like Barnard's, you got to capitalize on it. As I say, you don't get people at the top for very long in Formula E. It seems you do get certain names like Pascal Wehrlein was probably one of my pre-season favourites this season to reclaim his title, and he sort of had a wavering season. And yes, he got wins and it looked good, but again at times he didn't look like the champ, the most recent champion. So you got to strike whilst the iron's hot, and Barnard's iron was white hot at the start of the season, so I'm surprised that they didn't sign him as well. Porsche ended up as the manufacturers championship, which I think, if you agree, was down to having 2 point scoring drivers, but the best combination of drivers, I'd say, in that.
Yeah, I mean, having two top drivers very much helped them. Jaguar had Evans and Casti as they did last year. So the previous year, Evans and Casti did deliver the team's championship to Jaguar, but the start of this year, Jaguar just nowhere. I don't know why they massively dropped off over the season break, and they were just nowhere for the first half of the season until suddenly Casti started staging a comeback. So Jaguar certainly had the drivers to be able to compete, but for some reason something was wrong with the car or operationally at the start of the season. So that left it open for Porsche with 2 top drivers, and obviously Nissan with only really had 1 top driver delivering the points, which is what cost them there.
Yeah, it's I was going to ask you at this point then to try and guess where season 12 might go as a result. And I'm racking my brain. As I say, I'm very bad at this. I do like that Porsche lineup, but I just see something coming from Jaguar this year. I really think, for me, they're the team to watch. As you say, they finished so strong, and yes, although Cassidy's leaving, they've still got Mitch Evans. I think they'll get a top driver in that second seat. I just got a strong feeling about Jaguar.
Yeah, I mean, Jaguar are a very, very good outfit. They are changing team principal as well, so their team principal is off to McLaren in WEC. And in exchange, they're getting McLaren FE's team principal, Ian James, coming in to replace James Barkley. You can't write Jaguar off at all. They're certainly going to be in the fight. I think Porsche, you definitely can't write them off at all. They're going to be very, very strong, and I think the ones to beat. I don't know who's going to be partnering Evans next year. The loss of Casti could hurt them. It depends on who they can get in. So,
trying to think who's free. I know Robin Fryant has announced he's leaving Envision, so he's around, but I don't know if he's top. Again, he's won races, but whether he's top tier, if you're going for championships, whether he's the person you want, or if you can try and probably snatch one of the Maserati drivers if they've got 5 drivers to go in their 2 seats.
Yeah, well, I think Jake Hughes might be becoming available with all the signings that Maserati Slants have done. He's definitely a decent driver, so I could see him then. That would work well. And he's worked with Ian James as well, because when Hughes drove for McLaren, Ian James was team principal. So
yes, so it's going to be interesting what happens over the coming months. The first race of season 12, yes, we're already going to be talking about that, is December 6th, Sao Paulo, so you can catch that as well. I wanted to talk about the event experience. So I will go on record and say and you've been there the last 4 years, so I'm hoping again that you'll agree with me, that I think that the London E-Prix, where it is at the London Excel, is the best motorsport event that is put on at the moment.
Ooh, the
That's
best
a claim.
I mean, I've been to a few. I've not been to every single one. It is certainly up there. Out of the motorsport experience I've done, I've been to 6, 7, 8, maybe 7 different F1 circuits. I've been to 2 different Formula E circuits. I've also seen various minor motorsports at a couple of different circuits around the UK as well. Certainly, Formula E in London is right up there. The closeness to the track is really, really good. It's slightly limited in terms of the different viewpoints. I will say that with the all the grandstands are inside the XL Centre, it's an outdoor circuit, and there are a couple of interesting corners you can get a grandstand at, but generally at Formula One circuits there's far more variety for where you can sit. The big thing I will say, if you manage to get tickets to the autograph session in Formula E, that absolutely makes the whole thing, as far as I'm concerned. It's generally quite difficult to get tickets, and they change every year how to get them, which makes it even more difficult. But if you do manage to get one, then in the gap, well, actually, say just the whole thing of Formula E, of having practice, qualifying, and the race all on one day as a kind of one unit within that one ticket, is really, really good. You get plenty of track action. But yeah, if you get the autograph session between quali and the race, get to go down the pit lane, see the cars in the garages. Every team has to send their drivers out to sign autographs for all the fans, of which there are many in the pit lane. But you can go and get them to sign your own stuff, or pick up an autograph card that they're signing. Maybe have a quick word or two of them if you're lucky. It's absolutely fantastic. I really, really enjoy it. And then you got the atmosphere in the fan zone is pretty cool too. Can be very loud, I will say, and that is a down point for me, because Formula E aims to be quite family friendly, but the fan zone is so loud that we've avoided taking our small children with us, just because it's too loud for them. They'd be headphones on the whole time and wouldn't be able to hear you talking to them, wouldn't be able to talk to you, and I just think that would detract from the experience because of that. But
I think it depends on what's on at once. So we were there on Saturday, and Pixie Lot was on at one point, so lots of noise. We were sat in the outside bit. Sorry, Pixie, we weren't interested in watching you at that moment, but we were outside in the sort of main corridor between the two, and it was really loud. And then once that was over, it then quietened down and mellowed down to that sort of hum. But we don't need to describe it, because I was very lucky. I say lucky. I was not dragged. That's a really bad way of putting it. For anyone that knows, I hope Last Lap Lucy doesn't watch this. Last Lap Lucy. I asked her if she would help me go through the fan village, and what it turned into was her dragging her dad around, basically, going, "Come on, let's do this." And she was having a whale of a time, and I'm just dragging her down, trying to talk about serious things. But we'll cut to that now, to the footage of me walking around. And disclaimer, I might sing. So if you're of a nervous disposition and you're afraid of dad dancing, it's about 15 minutes. Skip past this bit. Okay.
Right. Hello, here at the fan village with Last Lap Lucy.
A very short.
Sure, I'll come down to your level.
I'm
Sorry
on
about that.
tiptoes right now, guys. This is my real height.
We're meeting halfway in the middle. So we're in the fan village. I just wanted to give a bit of a taste of what's actually here at the London Excel Centre. So I've got a tour guide.
You have.
You went, oh God, when I said you're going to show me around at your best bit, the best bits of the fan village.
I've only spent about half an hour here, so I've basically done a whistle stop tour of everything so far. So I'm not sure how qualified I am to do this, but I'll give it a go.
We'll just walk round and we'll talk about what we say. So right behind us now, as you can see and hear over there, is the stage, the fan stage. And there's all sorts of things going on there throughout the day. We've just had FIA Girls on Track, actually.
Yeah.
So that's a fantastic
So when I was walking to meet you, I heard some really nice inspiring conversations. I was like, oh, I need to go get a job in motorsport. You know, I was getting all excited. And then just before that, they had a band up on the stage.
There's
like live music.
So today we've got Pixie Lot at some point up on stage, and tomorrow Rizzle Kicks. So
that's a throwback.
I was going to say, you're quite young.
Yeah.
Do you know both of them? You do
I
well.
was like a young teen when they were in their heyday.
I'm going to say I was a young teen as well. I wasn't. But but yeah, it's exciting stuff going on. So we're going to take a bit of a wander. So over this way, we've got lots of
Girls on
interactive
track.
stalls. But
This is the Girls on Track zone.
What I love is all these people just down here, just in beanbags.
Yeah.
I think the beanbags are going to be a bit of a recurring theme, aren't they?
It's a chill vibe. Actually, I have some information on this. I don't know if you've been round here yet. This
No,
is
not
the
yet.
one bit I really stopped at. So, Girls on Track, they've got loads of little areas that you can check out. That first bit, it's like a board game. So that very first room. So you roll.
Right, let's get moving.
A giant set of dice. You roll it, and then you do a quiz. And I'm pleased to say I got every single question right.
Congratulations!
Because I'm a genius. And then next to it, they've got VR headsets. Fantastic stuff. You basically put it on and it takes you around a lap of London.
Let's get in and see. I can see one
over here. I'll be real. I skipped this one because it was busy.
Oh, look, there's someone with the VR. So
yeah,
look at this.
VR.
It's got a Ted's notebook feel to it now.
Yes, it has. Over here, we've got the marshals. Big up the marshals. Very lovely, very approachable, very chatty.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you to marshals. I've actually done a marshal taste today.
Excellent.
And I had a fantastic experience. So I would 100% recommend it. So if you haven't...
Sorry, coming down again.
If you haven't, go do a marshal taste today, be a marshal.
Excellent. I really want to do that.
Finally, a claw machine with prizes.
Look at this. I'm going to get in here and look at this.
Yes.
Let's sit. McLaren fan. I hope he wins something.
We may have to
at the moment.
This a little.
He's got something. Yes. Excellent. Well done, young fan.
Oscar Piastri is the best. What a
look
statement.
like I've just jumped in the queue, so I'm going to get out of that. So.
Whoa, this queue.
Right, so
this
look,
queue's got significantly
this is the queue
longer.
to hopefully be as successful as that young Oscar Piastri fan.
Right.
But can we just...
We're going to have to whistle stop this a bit because I do have to go soonish.
Sorry. I grabbed Lucy. I literally sent her a message today thinking she would tell me to go away.
Like, do you have 10 minutes? I was like, okay.
So,
fan store. Get your merch.
Yep.
Now, what I will say about Formula E merch, wonderful. It looks gorgeous. They understand their audience. Like, you've got the team merch, which is great. But look at this. Gorgeous purples, pinks, all bright colours like that seafoam Miami colour.
That's
chef's kiss. Absolute perfection. Prices are way more reasonable than F1 as well, so definitely
and
check out the Formula E merch.
And am I right? That's the only thing you have to pay for. Everything else in here is free?
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
So again, normally you pay for your entry ticket wherever you are, and you end up paying another. I'm still coming down like this. You pay like another $5 anytime you want to. Do you want to drive a simulator for 20 quid? And you're like, I've paid enough money to get here. So for your £80, this is all included.
All inclusive, yeah. It's so accessible to fans here. Formula E from the very beginning has been all about the fan experience, and it really shows. Because I will go out and I will say this to the camera. There we go.
There you go.
To the camera. Formula E fan zone is better than Formula 1 fan zone. Formula 1, step it up, take notes from Formula E, because this is mega.
Official.
Last up, Lucy certified.
Let's go and work at what we've got.
Hankook tyres are here.
Look at this stage.
They've been doing all sorts of promotions this weekend. Fun fact, their tyres are great on all weather. I've learned a lot about these tyres against my will.
They're not actually lit up like this, but that's very cool.
They don't glow in the dark, I'm sorry to say. So you can have a look at the tyres. You can win a teddy bear here, apparently.
Excellent. If you want a Hankook teddy bear.
Drivers to pose with. If you like a driver, you can pose with your favourite driver on this picture wall. They've got a little area here for Nissan featuring their all-new Nissan Leaf, which is 100% electric. We love electric cars. We're going to wander. Now, this is my personal favourite. The games area.
Let's go.
So I'm a gamer. You guys should know this. I stream games sometimes. So they've got retro, like arcade games. Formula E edition. So if you don't mind,
there's no queue. I'm going to get Lucy to go on one of these games.
We're going on the game. We're going on. I was like, I'm in a rush. I have to go. No, I'm not.
There isn't even a queue. Not even a queue. We're just straight in. And look, Lucy is playing Zap E London. Or she's not.
I don't think it's on at the minute. It was on earlier.
Okay. They look a bit
They were working earlier.
Oh, okay.
They were working earlier. They were really fun earlier.
This is why there's no queues. We find out when you go live, you find out that actually things aren't working as they should be.
I had a great time earlier.
Yeah.
I have insert video footage of me earlier.
Right, so what we got around here instead?
I didn't actually spot this last time.
Oh, hello.
And that is a testament to just how much there is in the Formula E fan zone. Because I didn't even know this was here.
I didn't know this was
awesome.
here.
Look at that.
Wow,
Look
I
at
love
that.
this.
She's absolutely smashed it there. Well done.
And look again, a short queue to have a go on that.
Exactly. The gaming arena next up.
Let's go this way.
So here's the gaming arena. Sim racing, basically. Have a little go on the sim. I did this last year, so yeah.
I'm bored. I'm gonna go and have a go on that later.
Hop on the sim, drive the Formula E car around London. You've got some more video games over here. Formula E know their audience, right? Formula E is basically a video game. I love it.
We love how interactive this all is.
Yeah. Video games. More video games. Friends and family area. And then
friends
here,
and family area.
there was no one in this when I came by last time. The silent disco. Will you be joining the silent disco?
Should we join the silent disco?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Go on.
Why not?
Let's
Why not?
join
So
the silent
dance to the
disco.
driver's favourite songs.
This is what happens, right? Point the camera at me. When you get a Last Lap Lucy cameo on your video, you will end up doing silly things. So we are going to the silent disco.
I love silly things. I love it. So I'm really glad. Right, let's go on. We're going in.
Yeah, flip the camera. You film me doing this.
Yeah.
Right.
Getting microphoned
Hello.
up. Microphone headset up.
So I'll turn these on for you. And then you've got the line on the side here. And it changes the channel. The song on, you've got red, green, blue.
So you can change the song that you're listening to. So we might not all be dancing to the same song. So I think the green is probably telling us what song Lucy's listening to. I'm going to put these on. Sorry, this is a bad video. So nice to hold. Thank you very much.
How do you do it?
It's like a little lever.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you. Right, I can confirm there is music.
I'm filming a video.
I mean, this is great. If you're listening along, you're thinking, Harry's just talking into a microphone. Honestly, raving along as well. I don't recognise the song because I'm too old.
Right, we should probably move on. I'm coming back here though. This is great.
Lucy wants to get hand these back now. Epic. Absolutely epic.
That was so fun. Sorry if I was getting a bit loud there.
That's all right.
Fantastic.
I was just saying that the people watching this can't hear what we can hear, so we're shouting over music.
Again, this feeling. Right. Quick.
Right, let's go over here. Let's go over here.
So you're wandering off that way. Don't worry, there's more here. There's more here, guys.
Let's get the microphone back in my face.
There's more here. So
look,
we won't go over. We'll stop here.
Okay. People are eating. Yeah, Lucy's
see
done
over
this
there, where I'm pointing at, hydration station.
Very
Free
important.
plastic cups, or not even plastic, like recycled whatever. Reusable cups.
Whatever.
Reusable cups, and you can take them home, and they're really cute.
They think of everything here, don't they?
They do.
And we're heading back now. You can hear the music. Not so silent disco now.
And then,
Look, just a Formula E car on a stage. Just because. Let's have a look at that. Very neatly lit up in blue, so you can't miss it.
Digital graffiti just behind. That's what I mean. We're struggling to show you guys everything that's here.
It's just, as I say, so much on. And shall we have a talk about the track itself? So, if you've been to the London XL, you walk in, to the left is where we are, all the fan zone. So this just goes all the way to that stage, as we said. But the track, you head over to the right, there's all the grandstands, the pit straight. It's half indoors, half outdoors. I mean, today it's July in the UK. It's I wouldn't say it's the sunniest day, but it's dry. But if it rains later on, how cool will that be when they go? Lucy's like, stop being technical. Stop talking about the racetrack when there's music on. I'm not joining that in.
This is such a vibe. I love it.
It's a vibe. This is what happens when you get Gen Z.
Your Honour, I'm easily distracted.
So the track, if it rains later on, it's a really interesting track. It could get to the point where they're dragging water in from outside
Yep.
onto the indoor parts of the track. So
Was it 2 years ago it rained?
I think it was, yeah. It was really interesting race.
I actually did the track walk earlier. Yesterday, I did the track walk yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah, and it was really cool to go. So I started outside, came inside, then back outside, then inside again. I took attack mode as well for anyone wondering. It gave me a little speed boost.
It's not. Is it attack mode this week, or is it
the Fantastic Four attack mode? My apologies.
Let's get that right. Yes. So all the weekend is changed to the Fantastic Four at Marvel Fantastic Four London E-Prix. So go and watch that. I'm a Marvel fan. You a Marvel fan?
I like it. I just haven't watched much yet. I need to get around to it. Me and my boyfriend are going to watch all of them in order. In chronological order.
That's the way to. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
That's on my list.
We've never watched them, so we want to go in chronological order. We thought that would be really cool.
Yeah. Yes. I'm doing the same with my daughter at some point. And I will best.
I still believe.
I'm just getting.
Still believe.
There's some dancers on the stage at the moment. If you can see that in the background, I want to talk about this. Give me one more time. Turn it to karaoke rather than podcast. Right, I want to talk about this. Last week, I reviewed E1. Last week, I reviewed the E1 series.
And how was that?
And right over here, I have an E1 powerboat. Lucy, have you seen any of E1?
No.
No, okay. Well, I just wanted to quickly get a shot of the E1 powerboat and the lady that didn't want to be on camera that I should have asked.
We'll edit her out.
Yeah, I'll do that later.
I'm not doing anything.
I've got to do editing now.
No, I don't have to. That basically brings us to the end of this, I'd say.
So I've just learned to ask permission, basically. Yeah. So, but I mean, there's more. There's just more stuff. There's food over there. I mean, let's just wrap it up now. I know you've got a busy schedule. Lucy, should we stand over here under this lit up tree?
Yeah.
Just to do like our closing.
Yeah.
Closing
Next
bit.
to the temporary tattoos and face paint area.
Temporary tattoos. Because they
And face
bought
paint.
everything.
Which I will not be doing.
No?
Can you imagine I pull up to the media pen with a temporary tattoo and face paint?
I think you should.
No.
Okay.
No.
Not happening. Right. That was a bit of a taste of the fan village. Lucy, thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, it's been a
Thank you
pleasure.
so much for introducing me to the silent disco over
Yeah.
there. That was a rave.
That was brilliant. Love
I can
it.
only apologise if you're watching this thinking, what the hell is going on? Well, that's just Formula E in a nutshell.
We're having a
isn't
good
it?
time. We're having a good time. Formula E, constant. I mean, there's a horse somewhere in this fan zone. I don't
Yes.
think we even showed the horse.
We
It's somewhere.
didn't. It was near the stage. It was
Yeah.
quite loud. They've got a horse. That one's fake, but I saw on track
A
earlier
horse.
this week a real
horse.
And I believe that's to do with redefining racing, isn't it? They said if you look up racing online, it still
Linktree.
comes up with horse racing, and they're trying to change that to be Formula E
Very
and
funny.
motorsport.
But brilliant marketing. Absolutely love
Everything
it.
they do.
They had
And
someone in a horse outfit the other day as well.
Did you?
Yesterday on the track walk. Yeah, we saw it come past. We were like,
just things you wouldn't see that at Formula One. So
constant. It's side quest after side quest here. It really is.
So yeah, absolutely. Come and do this next year because I think this is the best event, bar none, in motorsport.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Lucy, thank you so much. Cheers.
pleasure.
All the best.
So that was the Fan Village walkabout. Apologies for everything that you may have seen. Just chaos, but fun. I think was the main takeaway from that. We just had a lot of fun walking around. Thank you, as I say, to Last Lap Lucy. She's very busy. She gets media for these things because Formula E is that open and it wants everyone involved. She was doing media, so trying to get her even to have 5-10 minutes, and she was like, no, there's a driver that I need to go and interview. So thank you for spending time away from drivers to spend time with makeshift dad, walking through the silent disco and just being taken all around. Yeah, so thank you very much, Lucy. So I want to wrap up with our weekend was obviously tinged with sadness. We kind of hinted that this was the last season of McLaren. It was announced maybe back in April sort of time. We're joining WEC. Excellent, good news as McLaren fans. That's what we wanted for ages. Myself and Keith have been on here talking exactly about that, but we didn't know it would come at the cost of Formula E. So as you've already said, our team's sort of been cut and chopped up. Taylor Barnard possibly going to Penske, Ian James, as you say, going to Jaguar because we're nicking James Barkley. And I was just reading just before we came and recorded that Gary Paffett is going over to Cupra Kiro as their director. But a word for Sam Bird at this point. He's one of 5 drivers that you'll know a lot about because he raced from season 1. He's been there throughout. It looks like, unless something miraculous happens, which I don't see on the horizon, it seems like season 11 was his final season. And I just want to say, what a guy, what a, just away from the racing, even just what a standout man Sam Bird is.
Yeah, no, he's fantastic. I mean, I've enjoyed watching him race. I think he's a fantastic ambassador for the sport. Whenever you see him doing TV interviews, he's always really engaging, and he's just engaging in real life as well. He loves fans, and one of the things I've seen him do so often when I've been on those autograph sessions is if he sees a kid, he'll go and say hi to the kid. If they've got a cuddly toy, he'll say, "Do you want to take me take my cuddly toy?" And he takes the cuddly toy and goes and puts it on the halo of his car or in the driver's seat and takes a photo and takes it back. And he's just great. He really understands that, fans come for the personal interaction with the driver. That's one of the things you get trackside that you don't get at home, and he's just fantastic, engaging with fans of all age, including me. I'm not a kid anymore, but he's always been really friendly and chatty, and he's got lots of people who want to talk to him, so we try not to talk for too long, but just really treasure those moments of actual human interaction versus some of the other drivers will just sign a card and try and get rid of you. Whereas, Sam's really good, really engaging. I really hope that I see if he is finishing his racing career, which I don't want him to do yet, but when he does finish his racing career, I'd love to see him working on TV because he's just such an engaging personality, and he lives and breathes Formula E and racing in general. And I think he's a fantastic ambassador for all motorsport. Really,
couldn't agree more. I was going to say exactly the same thing about the autograph session. That, again, as you say, other people will just sign, move on. He just wants, I think if you let him, he would spend 10-15 minutes with everyone that came up and knew his name. He'd just, get, as you say, there'd be the barrier and he's there moving out the way going, no, come on, stand in front of the car, come on, stand over here. And like showing kids around the car and the garage. He's just a phenomenal guy. And a good driver as well. Like when we signed him at McLaren, I was over the moon. I thought we've got a really strong driver coming in. So yeah, hopefully not the end. As I say, I could see him on TV as well. I couldn't agree with that more, that statement. So hopefully, we do see more of him. Andy, I think we've wrapped up Formula E in a nutshell there. Thank you so much for joining me to discuss it tonight. Where can people find you? I'll put all the links underneath, but typically social media wise, where do you spend a majority of your time?
Mostly on Twitter with the handle @AndyTails. If anyone wants to call it something other than Twitter, then don't bother following me. No, that's where I spend most of my time. I am on Instagram as well, but mainly I'm just on there to enter competitions to win Formula E stuff. But I don't post on there very much. Twitter's where I spend most of my time.
Excellent. Yeah. So as I say, I'll put all of the links that I can find underneath. Go and follow Andy. Yes, and he'll message you occasionally and say, going into this competition, and you go, thanks, and then hope that one of you wins. But yes, thank you so much for joining me. And I just wanted to say, like, coming up this weekend in terms of motorsport, again, there's lots of people that are trying to do Formula One podcasts or content going, oh God, when's Formula One back? Because we are smack bang in the middle. There's lots of racing. Yes, Formula E is over, but coming up this weekend, we've got European Le Mans, MotoGP, NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, DTM, and SuperGT, plus probably other things going on in the sort of lower leagues, but they're the ones I highlighted. But what I wanted to end on was just saying, I don't know yet next week whether to cover DTM or SuperGT. So if you're watching this and you've got this far and you haven't been persuaded to hit that X and close it and watch something else on YouTube, comment DTM or or Super GT, and I'll cover whichever gets one vote, because it will be just one comment. Whichever gets the comment, I will cover that next week. As I say, thank you to Andy, thank you to Lucy for walking me through the fan village, and thank you for watching. Good night.